Throughout my years of teaching GCSE students, I've seen people go from studying 10 to 12 hours a day down to studying 2 hours a day and achieving even better results along the way. So how is that 1% of high achievers doing that? Well, a big part of it is that you're doing too much work. Let me explain. Okay, today I'm going to explain how that 1% of high achievers get all 9s, all while doing less work than you. I'll do this by explaining, number 1, why taking too many notes is killing your chances of passing. 2, the 80-20 rule and how that's going to achieve 100% of your success. And finally, a 5-step routine for mastering past exam papers. So first up, I mentioned that you were doing too much work. First, let's talk about sacrificing note-taking for practice questions. The highest achievers I see actually cut out notes completely if they want to excel. As much as you think notes are useful, spending less time on them is actually going to help. Adding practice questions helps you apply the knowledge you already have and prepares you for the types of questions you're going to see in exams specifically. You don't need to know the full derivation and the history of where an equation came from, you just need to know the equation for your exam. So this brings us to our 80-20 rule. Let me explain. Let's discuss the 80-20 rule in studying. The 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of the work you do is only getting you 20% of the results, whereas there's a golden 20% of the work you're doing that's going to get you 80% of your results. So in context, 80% of the content you learn, like derivations, the interesting facts that your teacher tells you around the subject, is only going to contribute to around 20% of the results in your exam. Whereas there's a special 20%, that's things like definitions, important processes, equations, key facts. They lead to about 80% of your results. But where do you focus on that 20% and what does it contain? So those main things that those 1% high achievers focus on are things like key equations, main concepts, topic questions, exam past papers, acronyms, and questions that the teacher has given you before. So taking notes on 80% of the content you're learning is only going to get you about 20% of those results. But aiming for that 20% of the most important stuff is going to get you 80% of your exam results. So you want to focus on understanding those core principles and those formulae rather than the detailed, interesting histories behind those, like how, I don't know, Alexander Fleming discovered antibiotics. Anyway. So here's that 5-step formula I mentioned to yield those 80% results. Number 1, you're actually going to try a past paper question. And this is going to show you how well that revision you've been doing has been going. So remember, you only looked at things like key equations, definitions, and using acronyms. Now, I'll link here if you want an example on how we use things like acronyms in one of our videos. Step 2, you're going to compare your solutions to the correct one. So make sure when you are writing that you've understood the correct method and make sure that you've shown you're working out, because that's really important for your examiners and it can lead to additional marks even. Now, this is really important to remember in the next part. By working it out and writing down your working, you can showcase that you kind of have the right idea. So even if you get it wrong, you might get some marks. Okay, part 3, you're now going to repeat the question, even with the help of the solution if you need. Make a note of any parts that you've got wrong, because there's a high chance this might come up in your exam. You can always chat to a teacher if you're not sure why you've got that part wrong. So you think you've got that? Fantastic. This next step is vital. So step 4, after a few days, you need to revisit that question. So returning to something after you've had a bit of time to forget it is the number 1 way to help you learn that content. It ensures you've retained the information by rechecking that question again. Now, this final part is a bit that most people won't admit, and it's that those high achievers still ask for help. So in step 5, if you're still getting that question wrong, don't be afraid to ask for help. You have a teacher, you have friends that might know that topic better than you, but reach out and get somebody to explain it to you. Don't just let it go to the wayside. So it's best to go through each of these steps for every subject you're taking an exam on. All right, I don't want to exaggerate here, but this next part is the 100% absolute death of your GCSE results. Procrastination is such a big killer of productivity. And I get it, you want to switch off sometimes, But this is where that 1% of high achievers really excel and come into their own. So let's talk about the approach to breaks I've seen them take over my time as a teacher. Most students I see don't take traditional breaks of about an hour because, let's be honest, in that time, you're going to go on your phone, you're going to play video games, you're going to go on the Save My Exams TikTok account, of course. Instead, what you want to be doing is what the 1% do, and that is the Pomodoro technique. Now, if you've not heard of that, this is where you take a big block of time, that's about 3 hours, and you break it up into half-an-hour chunks. Now, in those half-an-hour chunks, you do 25 minutes of studying and then take a 5-minute brain break. Now, what's important to caveat here is that those 5 minutes aren't spent on your phone. That's 5 minutes of making a cup of tea or just taking a break and looking out the window. So you work for 25 minutes, 5-minute break, and then you move on to the next topic. And this way, you can do a really focused 3-hour chunk of work. And then after that, you get to do what you want for the rest of the day. You can almost treat it like a reward. This is probably less break time than what you'd like ideally, but it's what you need to do if you want to get those higher marks. So delete those social media apps. Instead, go for a run, walk the dog, or just spend time with family and friends and just let your brain relax a little bit in your breaks after those big stints of work. And finally, just be careful when studying with friends. It sounds like a really nice idea, but more often than not, it just ends up with socializing. So yeah, just watch out for that one. Check out some positive habits like go to the gym, go for a run. Exercise really helps just kind of like cool your brain down after a really heavy session of revision. Finally, let's talk about the applicability of these tips to different subjects. They're not going to work for every subject. Memorizing key equations isn't going to cut it for history. And similarly, talking about key dates and things like that, not very helpful for maths. But the key ideas, the things like the 80-20 rule and memorizing what's really important for your exams or working on past papers, those hold true for absolutely every subject. So don't study yourself into the ground, just focus on those main themes, those questions, and that most valuable 20% that's going to get you the biggest chunk of your marks in your exams. So now that you know how to study smart for your exams, you'll get the most out of a Save My Exams membership, as we've distilled all of that most valuable information. So you know that 20% we were talking about earlier, that's all on our site. So things like exam tips and the key equations and past paper questions. Videos are about 5 minutes long that contain everything you need to know to get through your exams and ace it. So check out our most popular study video here, and the best thing is they're free on YouTube.